It's been really interesting. I think that for everyone, no, the world's pretty much stopped. No, it's paused. But how I've been seeing it, it's a chance to reset. No, we're currently being witnesses of a real change. Like this situation that's going on is one for the books, and it's real. Like we are living that important historical moment. So how we act on this matters a lot, and it's every second that matters.
Welcome, Spirit Lifters. I hope you're having a great day, and it's great to have you here. Spirit Lifters, how has the situation of quarantine and spending more time than ever at home than any of us is probably used to been for you personally? Have you had time to reflect on things? Has it been positive? Have you been able to do things you haven't done before? Or has it just been a want to break out of jail situation, just totally stressful? It would be interesting to know your experiences because everyone's had something different and unique happen to them and is continuing to happen to them in this time. So please share your experiences below. That would be awesome. So today I have the personal pleasure of having Tania Dorantes, a Mexican who lives in Miami, and me, Devin, I live in Mexico City right now. And Tania is Mexican Miami, like I said, working in the music and creative industry there. And today we'll be talking about her personal journey in these times of 2020. And it'll be really interesting to hear how this has been from her perspective. So Tania, welcome to Spirit Lift, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I appreciate what you're doing. I think that now more than ever, it's really important to spread positivity, to be connecting virtually in any way we can. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Tania. And you know, this whole experience has just led to certain ways of wanting to reach out to people in ways than never before. And just stimulating different types of creativity and reflections that, I don't know, like sometimes before this all happened, maybe you would always put off or procrastinate or just not really take the time to really dive in and discover for yourself. I know, you know, a lot more kind of introspections in a way. So I'm really curious, Tania, like, you know, tell us a little bit more about you, who you are, why you're in Miami, and how this whole situation has been for you personally.
Well, as you said, I'm Tania. I work in the music industry. I've been working in the music industry for the past 8, almost maybe 10 years. I started in Mexico, and then I was transferred here to Miami, where I've been living for the past 3 to 4 years now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you know, this whole moment and situation is a great change. I'm used to dealing with people every day, having artists in front of you, and just working with all your team right next to you. Of course, there's a lot of digital exchange as well, right? Half of my meetings are virtual as we're having it right now. So it wasn't really a shock in terms of how to communicate with people, but obviously the lifestyle definitely changed. It's been really interesting. I think that for everyone, no, the world's pretty much stopped. No, it's paused. But how I've been seeing it, it's a chance to reset. No, we're currently being witnesses of a real change. Like this situation that's going on is one for the books, and it's real. Like we are living that important historical moment. So how we act on this matters a lot, and it's every second that matters. So I think that it's heavy, it's difficult, but it allows a shift in perspective. It allows an opportunity for growth. Like chaos is an opportunity for growth in the end, right? So I think that is already something amazing, if you want to see it that way. Of course, it's heavy, yeah, it's scary, and there's a lot of mixed emotions that are involved, but I think this time is really giving us the chance to see these emotions and face them, because we're forced to. There's really nothing else we can do in it. And it's really funny. I've been seeing so many comments around, like, obviously digitally, where people are like, oh, I can't stand myself. I'm so tired of myself. I'm so bored of myself, whatever. And it's like, it's so true. Yeah. It's like we spend our day-to-days, a lot of us, right, distracting from our own thoughts, from our own selves. And that's really shocking to witness. Mm-hmm. So it has been an experience to even get to know myself at this point. You know, it's been an incredible moment to just pause and think about my dreams. Like, what do I want to accomplish in life? Am I really going in that direction? What have I been doing in my life? Is it what I want to do? What do I like? What do I dislike? Like this pause and the moment to be able to interact with your own self gives you the opportunity to review all these things that I'm not sure we all have been doing in the past. Like I got to speak for myself, at least. I'm not sure I had been. I think I had been trying to survive in the day-to-day, you know, trying, of course, pay the bills, which yes, we have to, work, how we're gonna dress today, how we're deal with the daily crap, because we have to deal with the daily crap, and come back home, go to the groceries, wash, and you get so stuck that you're almost surviving rather than you actually navigating the boat, right? You're more like drowning rather than sailing. So I think it's a great lesson in that sense. I'm sorry, I just started blurting stuff out. I guess I've had a lot of...
that's amazing, Tania. And I kind of want to ask you right there, actually. When was the moment that you really felt that this general sense of, okay, I feel like I'm diving deeper into myself right now. I feel like this opportunity right now is allowing me to feel and experience things that are not part of the day-to-day as they were before this all happened, that, you know, this sort of like awakening inside of you, so to speak, for lack of a better expression. But when did that really start to happen? And is there anything you've been doing that has been a good expression of that right now?
Excellent question. I guess the moment, to be frank, I think that I have known for a while that I am not exactly doing what I am really passionate about, what I really want to take to my grave, right? Like, in the end, what is the legacy that you want to leave in this world? And what do you want to take to your grave, right? So I've kind of known, but I had been sort of avoiding out of fear, out of laziness, out of lack of time, no? Because that's another huge one that we all use, the lack of time. And I guess that was a major excuse for me. And now it was like, whoa, now I have the time. Because yes, I've been working, mind you, but regardless, you face yourself, and you face a lot of quiet time now that you're in home. So I think that during this time, it was like, okay, girl, now you have the time. And what are you like, come on, are you going to do it or are you not? And the example is, for example, I've always loved radio. Ever since I was little, I used to record myself, but I'm talking 8 years old, and like create my own radio program and like interview people. And I never went for it out of fear of judgment, out of lack of time. That was always, like I said, that was always the excuse. And now I was like, okay, you have all the resources. You can get a freaking microphone and start doing it. I even have like an idea of what I've wanted to do, because I've always wanted to like try to help, which I'd love to touch in a different point if we can. The help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I was faced with myself. It was an awakening moment. Like, listen, you have the time, there's no excuse. And what I realized, I started listening to some audiobooks and just reading some things, and where I was seeing like just quick tips that were like, just act. The tips, there are no tips. I mean, there are a few things that you can do in order to structure your time better. But what I realized, the aha moment in this case, was you have to just do it. And this is for everything. It's like right now that we're quarantined and you want to draw, but you haven't drawn in such a while, just grab a freaking pencil and start doing it. You want to write, just write. You want to restructure your business, just sit down and give yourself a moment to think about your business and try to give yourself that moment to try to structure your plans to be able to accomplish. But it all starts with just getting up and doing it. Mm-hmm. So to your question, that's kind of like what I started doing. I was like, one day I couldn't sleep. I was like, I feel like I'm wasting my time, and it's been quite frustrating because I'm gonna be 30 this year, and I'm probably gonna be quarantined. And it's like, fuck, I feel like I have a wasted youth. Like I haven't been doing the shit that I wanted, and now I'm gonna be 30, and it's like, I have to start acting. Not in a desperate way, but out of just start doing it. It just takes, you know what? I'm gonna buy my desk to have my station to be able to record appropriately, and slowly but surely, like you have to save money in order to get the equipment, right? So, but you go realizing all the things that you need in order to get whatever you need done. And yes, it'll take a while, and yes, it'll take, a lot of things, money, planning, time, but you can go like doing a little check, and eventually you'll just have it, right? I mean, I can't say I'm still in the works, but at least there's an idea now and there's equipment on the way. So we'll see.
But you feel probably more motivated than before to do it. Obviously, you're still the dichotomy here is that you're still working. I mean, your work has not ceased. I imagine it's still going on. You're still busier than ever. But the dynamic of the day to day is so different, as far as not having to go to the office there, not having to discuss these things with these people there. The time that would normally occupy most of our days every day throughout the whole entire year has, that whole paradigm's flipped right now. And who knows, how that will be in the future. So what's interesting here is that it seems that we are still really busy with our work. I mean, for sure, but it's the dynamic of doing that is different, and leaving in some ways, and with certain people, opportunities to do other things than they would not otherwise do, like what you are just saying with that. So what do you want to do as, we don't know when this will end. I mean, where you are, where we are, where anybody is, and what will be the new measures in society after that. So what are you hoping right now to do that you want to, in a way, carry on more permanently going forward? Like maybe you want to explore like you were talking about the radio and everything else. Maybe you want to explore this thing more and really get into it because you're really passionate. So what things do you want to really carry on going forward now that will be more a part of your life and that will enrich your life more than it did maybe in the past?
I think you bring up several very, very important subjects. I work at a tech company right now, and they're doing this survey of what are the things, the pros and cons of working at home, and if we can see ourselves doing this in the future. So first and foremost, this is something that may change, at least for the companies that are able to work from home. I'm pretty sure that this is at least gonna happen a lot more than it was happening before. Like the working remotely is gonna be a thing more than ever, especially for those companies that are able to. And I think that there are a lot of pros to it. There are cons as well, but there are a lot of pros. And one of the things is exactly that, is that you can manage your own time. So yes, it's amazing to see people every day and to be able to collaborate face to face, which I think that is still gonna be really important. Maybe less than before. Maybe we can do some meetings virtually, which can be perfectly done as well.
And depending on the industry, maybe.
Huh?
And sorry to interrupt you, but also depending on the industry. For people with live events, they got to have a live event, like.
So that's exactly where my point is going. So there are a lot of things here. So in my case, and in other, that's why I was saying, like the companies that are able to work from home,
yeah,
that's going to be happening more and more in the future, right? And it is good because it can give us time to restructure our days, to work on these special projects, etc. Now, of course, there are these companies that can't and that require the face and, of course, the live events. So this is also it's just so many things that are happening right now and so many areas of opportunity, right? So, for example, in the live event and in many other businesses that are not yet digitalized in that sense, like this moment is really the moment to start thinking of how you will be able to connect virtually. Like, this is life-changing, and we may or may not go back to how we were, but regardless, more and more we're gonna be seeing a lot of these digital exchanges, whether it's on entertainment where all these streams are coming about, right? So the live industry will have to, in a large part, merge into a virtual digital streaming, and there's so much going on at the moment. Like, I can't even tell you. It's like the topic right now of how people are going to monetize out of this, what's going to happen to all those people who were like the stage managers, who their actual job was working on stage, and let alone the artists, right? So many things that are coming about, but there are a lot that can be digitalized. Like, and there's a lot that maybe is not possible, but maybe you can find another way, another thing to do in this new digital era and this new scenario of live events, which are completely live in the sense of live streaming. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're not going to be a stage manager, but maybe you'll be a virtual programmer. So all these new platforms that are live streaming also require a setup. And more we're probably going to be seeing that, like, rather than having stages, we're going to be seeing virtual stages. If you can check out, for example, Travis Scott's most recent single release through this game, Fortnite. Mm-hmm. So imagine there was a stage set up inside a video game. So sure. There are more and more coming, so many ideas, and they're gonna be, these stage managers, physical, are gonna be needed in the virtual world. Now, how? Yes, we're gonna require education. A lot of that education you can get online. A lot of it's free. Like, that's where I'm seeing so much opportunity. There's so many chat forums, sure. There are so many courses, there's so, even like what you're doing, so much information out there, that the point is to have the will to do it and to try to, do a real deep dive and an educative deep dive, and you'll be surprised on how much you will be able to find. It's a time to change, and we have to face that, and it's scary. But the faster we face it and we embrace it, the better we're going to be able to grow and help others. Where I think that helping someone else is just the highest level of growth that you can have at this point, really.
And elaborate that part from your perspective, Tania. How is that important for you, and what things are you seeing that you want to do or would like to do in that regard?
Yeah, so for example, one of the examples that I found going on, and that I was like really conmovida, how do I say this, like excited about, was that all these people, for example, that suffer from anxiety, they've suffered from anxiety their whole lives, and they basically quarantine themselves from society already, right?
Right.
But then so many other people that are not used to this are suffering new anxiety attacks and new stress, forms of stress and panic attacks. And these people that have already gone through it are now helping these people that have never gone through it. So people who suffered from anxiety all their lives now are helping other people, which I think is beautiful and amazing. And then, I don't know, maybe you are a person that has studied digital e-commerce, whatever, your whole life, and then right now you have a chance to educate local businesses to to become digital, right? And there are ways, like, trust me, all the tech companies are avidly working every day to find solutions, quick solutions for those who can't, for those businesses who need to sell physically. How can you sell now digitally? Like, how to connect. Of course, everybody's working on how to connect, how to make parties that were first physical now virtual. There are so many like Zoom parties now going on where potentially you'll be able to monetize now and charge as if you were a bar. So there are a lot of things, and I think I'm just talking about a lot of things here. And just to come back to the help part,
and your personal part of that.
Yeah, so my personal part, I guess, here is in many different ways. I'm obviously struggling with a lot of like depression as well at times, and like, but I try to like write positive messages every single day, and I'm finding that the people are really reacting to it. The people are like, oh my God, I really needed to hear that. And like, so it inspires you to write more and more, right? To try to help someone. Or for example, in the case of the podcast, there's a lot of artists and new managers and producers and whatnot in the music industry that are not as well educated, that don't have the closeness that I may have because of my job and my experience, etc., where I think I can help there. So I want to start like interviewing other people where they can give their little pieces of advice and try to, like, you never know how many people you can impact. And that's the beautiful thing about the digital aspect, right?
Well, and that goes into your idea of the radio idea, because the podcast is essentially the new radio. So however you set up your new platform to do that and just get your message out to those people with your experience, you being from here in Mexico, you being in the United States, I mean, your impact and reach in that way could just be so helpful and so powerful for a lot of people, Tania, you know? And
it's amazing, and that's where we really, I don't think that so many people are against this digital reality, and I understand. It's obviously completely different. It's especially for older people, I would say. But the impact that you can have is amazing when you realize that. It's like, even to your point for the live shows, right? Of course, there's nothing like seeing a live show, and trust me, that's one of the things that has me most depressed. I miss shows and I miss shows. But also when you see a live stream and that you're reaching 12 million people, it's like, damn. Or even more, even more. The numbers are really crazy. And that's where you're like, wow. Now, there's a lot of challenges there, right? You have to curate the information because there's a lot of content out there. And there's going to have to be a lot of measures taken in order to kind of like filter the content and try to, really spread the most educative content out there, which is what's going on with COVID as well. Like, you see so much information and it's crazy. So that's all an area of opportunity, right? As well. But it's really exciting, and there's a lot to tap into. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a lot. There are people that are used to work maybe in a more physical level, have an opportunity to enter a digital and have opportunities there. Now, of course, I understand there is a lack of resources as well. So mainly I'm talking more for the people that can.
Yeah, absolutely.
For now.
Or you have the ability to as well, because the thing is, going back to that essence of what you're saying, Tania, which is really important, even for a lot of people at families, especially, this has been just a very important time to, especially for, whether it be a dad or a mom or whatever, whoever's, not been able to spend as much time with the kids because of their schedules in general. I mean, this is a game changer, and having, to be able to do what you do in the workplace and do the same exact function at home and be around your kids. I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal. That's a sweet deal. Obviously the kids will pull your attention a bit and what have you, but they see you. The point is they see you, and that, unfortunately does not or has not happened as much as we would probably want it in our times before all this happened. So that definitely helps. Tania, just to close, this amazing talk that we're having together right now, what one thing would you advise anyone out there who watches this to really take away, and really, especially in these times that we're living in, to really, how do I say this? Develop within themselves in a certain way, or what would be your tip for anyone in this time to do something for the best, either for themselves or for someone else? What would be your tip regarding that?
I think, like I was mentioning before, first and foremost, like, try to embrace the situation. We're gonna go through this for a long time, and it may be life-changing, like forever. So it's a matter of like hoping for the best, expecting the worst, but acting with what we have, right? Kind of like, I would say try to build a healthy, productive schedule, because a lot of people are also not working. So this is really important to also acknowledge, right? So it's like, that can be also really depressing, and I totally get that. So it's kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna build a schedule as if I were working, and of course add to it where you're not earning money. So like the situation is just it's really frustrating in that sense as well, and we have to understand that too, right? But it's like, okay, I'm gonna wake up. I always recommend like dress, like try not to. Some people love the leisure wear. That's amazing. I find it really helpful to dress up, just shifting the mood a little bit. It really gets you going. I find it that it gets me going, at least, right? Cook. Okay, then after I have my breakfast, I'm going to look online for possible jobs, maybe, or education, or free courses, or give a course. If you want to work on a YouTube channel of yourself, maybe dedicate that time, right? Like, structure a day-to-day that you can just make a habit out of it, and include working out. Like, there are so many apps, free apps out there, and people giving classes through Zoom, through YouTube, through Twitch, through Facebook, through Instagram. Like, there's through WhatsApp. Like, there's a lot out there, and you can take advantage. Try to move your body, try to work out, and like snap out of the status quo for a second. Also, try to patience is key. I mean, in the end, try not to be so hard to yourself. If you feel sad, be sad, but also realize when you're being too sad and you don't want to get out of bed. If it comes to that point, try to get help. There's a lot of people, like I said, helping out free. Even looking outside, watching the sun, just acknowledging the moment, patience, be grateful for what you have, appreciate those who are helping. Like, take time, take your time. I think that all of that, of course, I'm always going to recommend, try to do something creative, try to reconnect with an old hobby. I don't know, try to create any way that you can channel your frustration. If you like to paint, write, dance, any way that you can, it's really, really helpful. It really, really helps. I found it amazing. And connecting, right? Like, these virtual happy hours and these Zooms with the families and everything is helpful. And and there's more and more of them. Like, I've been seeing these Zoom parties with every type of audience. There's Zoom parties for people that like to cook, Zoom parties for people that like to party. There's Zoom parties for just listening music, for everything, and it helps you socialize. Even video games like the Animal Crossings and all that allows you to socialize. So anything, like, treat yourself and listen to yourself. It's a good moment. It's a good moment to listen to yourself. If you haven't done ever in your life, now's the time, and it can take you very far, right? It's like I said, it's a time to pause and reset. And the fact is, like, the world is changing. Will you? It all comes down to that, I think.
That's Tania, that's excellent. Very, great tips, very great insight, and very just human feeling, really. It's excellent. And, I thank you so much for being on this episode of Spirit Lift, Tania. And if people want to know more about you or any of the creative projects you're doing, where can they find that?
So basically right now all I have is my social media. So it's at Tania Dorantes.
Okay.
And I guess once I start working and accomplishing all the things that I want to do, I'll be posting there and then just blogging there. That's basically where I'm keeping social.
All right. Awesome, Tania. Well, I wish you the very best in this time for sure. And, and this path of expression and creativity and self-discovery, I wish you Spirit Lifters all the best with that as well. And if you got value from this video, please give us a thumbs up below, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you so much.